You are listening to WIN on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the WIN Show on KZKO. Take part with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week or during the show by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the WIN KZKO blog. Now, enjoy the show. It's local. It's global. You are listening to WIN World Local News.
WIN World Local News with Potter Smittss. Our top story today is brought to us by WIN Twitter correspondent Walter of Washington, D.C. President's Day in the United States of America brings about only one question into question, and that is, who is unquestionably the best president in U.S. history? To ponder this question, let's go live to the Lincoln Chinese Memorial in the U.S. Capitol and WIN senior U.S. presidential historian, Mr. Chin Lee. Mr. Chin?
Yes, thank you, Potter. I am here at the base of the Chinese Lincoln Memorial here in Washington, D.C. As you can hear, there are a group of presidential monkey barkers here in the background, and I am speaking to their leader. I assume leader, you are the loudest barker, a Mr. John Smith.
That is right. I am the loudest. I am the leader. I am the face.
Well, Mr. Smith, who would you qualify as the president who is the leader, the loudest, and the face?
Of all the presidents of the United States, there is only one that can truly be determined, qualified, nay, even proclaimed, even to have their name mentioned in the same sentence as the best president, and that would be Garfield.
President James Garfield, the 23rd president of the United States, who was assassinated in the late 1880s.
Correct. He was assassinated by ninjas.
I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. It is not in the history books that he was assassinated by ninjas. How have you come upon this information?
Because there was a cover-up. And it is now time that the country knows, because it is only by knowing how he died that one can truly say he was the best, for he put up a valiant fight. There are records that you see. Mrs. Garfield was on the other side of the wall from the compartment in which Mr. Garfield stood valiantly against the ninjas.
So she heard the whole scuffle.
Yes, and she journaled about it, though she was afraid to tell anybody or to reveal the journal entries because, well, nobody thought they would, she didn't think anybody would believe her. I mean,
understandable. American-Sino relations were not at their strongest in the late 19th century.
No, and ninjas had, gone under the radar by that point.
Most thought they were just a myth.
That is true. That is very true. But they were not. Then they still are not a myth. They are a very real thing.
Well, I think the question on my mind, at least, is why did ninjas want to kill President Garfield?
They were sent there by the French government.
Oh.
Yes, you see, there was a trade route between France and Japan.
Ah, yes, I know it well.
Called the Indo-Franco-Japanese trade route.
The IFJR.
Correct. You know your history, or at least your acronyms.
I majored in the Taft-Hartley Act in college.
Oh, very good. Yes, Taft was
fat.
Yes.
Very, very fat.
I mean, just his name Taft kind of sounds like fat. It sounds like fat and daft.
Yes. It is
and taffy.
Which could explain many things. Now, back to the important matter at hand. President Garfield.
Yes.
Engaged in mortal combat with ninjas very near his wife. His fight was valiant, but ultimately unsuccessful.
Correct.
What do you know of this fight?
We know that Garfield took out about a dozen ninjas.
Who?
The exact number is uncertain because we don't know how many ninjas were sent by the French government. You see, we know that Garfield was somewhat trained in the dark arts of ninjutsu because only somebody who was similar with the same kind of martial arts could do to stand against such attacks. We know that smoke bombs were used. We know that he was proficient with the bow staff. And we also know that he could control water.
Now, these are all things we have learned from his wife's diary? Or his wife's journal?
Yes.
Now,
as well as his children.
Now, do any of his children, have they been granted these powers of water control as well?
Well, Garfield was in the process of training them. Though due to their role being in somewhat of the public eye, if you understand, it was hard to train such young ones in the art of ninjutsu without them, revealing, blabbing about it, and blowing it up, if you will.
Wow. Well, I believe we have learned much here today of the history of America's greatest president, the hidden, water-wielding ninja warrior, James Garfield. Back to you, Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chin. That's fascinating. I never knew that as well. Nor did I ever rank Mr. Garfield that high, but that's great. To our next story, brought to us by WIN Facebook contributor Melissa of Long Island, New York. The box office success of the erotic cinematic drama 50 Shades of Grey has people wondering why Grey is so stimulating. To take our shackles off this story, let's go live to WIN senior clinical psychologist Dr. Sigmund Freud, who's live at the Hollywood Super 69 Cineplex with the story. Dr. Freud?
Yes, I am here with a suburban housewife. This is somewhat of my specialty. Miss Claire Danes.
Happy to be here, Sigmund.
Now, this is your sixth time coming to the cinema to see this 50 Shades of Grey. What is it that draws you to the story of a entrepreneur man, very wealthy, who is into S&M?
I mean, I think it's just adventure. It's getting out of my everyday humdrum life of, I don't want to be the one putting clothes into the dryer. I want to be the one who's stuffed into the dryer and put on tumble cycle for a while.
Is this due to perhaps your father's lack of physical touch when you were a child? Are you somehow compensating for the lack of intimate physical contact with your father figure by seeking out some kind of fantasy where...
How do you know about my dad?
I am a psychoanalyst.
How do you know my dad never hugged me? My dad was a cruel man. I mean, not outwardly, but he was cold. He would come home from work and just wouldn't say anything to me, and he would ignore me, and he never came to my plays. And I never thought there was any. I just thought I wanted to get moist. But I guess there's a lot more to it than that.
Yes, moisture, if we were to look at the environment, we would say that moisture is only one part of it. There is also the soil. There's the seed. There is the sunlight. And this is all just a metaphor, of course, for your subconscious. Coming out to say, I wish to be violated in a more violent way than in a cold, distant, how do you say, like, too clean, Pristine.
It's different. It makes me, like, I feel like my everyday life, it's just, it's exactly what you'd see in a PBS special. But I want something that you'd see late night on HBO. Like, just a little, something that makes me feel like I'm breaking laws.
Well, this is all the time we have for now, but I would recommend you come down to my offices, yes? And we continue this to examine your hysteria and perhaps come to a cathartic resolution.
Okay.
Very well. Potter, back to you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Freud. That's very enlightening. Well, let's go over to the World Sports Desk and Fired Up Frank, who's, well, actually at the World Underwear Cleaning Championships. Fired Up, what's going on over there?
Potter, this is one of the more boring sports you've sent me to. I'm just kind of sitting here in the laundromat with the contestants, and I'm reading a People magazine. Others are reading, U.S. News and World Report. And our defending champion, Cartolo, he's reading the latest issue of Field and Stream.
That's right, Field and Stream.
Yeah, yep, and, we're just kind of waiting for the washers and dryers to get done. I don't see how these clothes aren't going to come out clean, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, and Potter?
Yes.
By the way, Angelina Jolie just adopted another child. I just learned that today, so.
Well, interesting. Well, something positive came out of that, at least. And, maybe we'll look forward to hearing more about Angela in the future. Well, let's jump over to the World Weather Desk and Tulip Strumstring. She is at the Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, Africa. What you doing over there, Tulip?
My producer sent me here. I'm just kind of, I'm tired. I've been traveling around the world for a long time now, and I want to go back home. Victoria Falls is, I've seen like a dozen waterfalls at this point, and I actually live kind of close to Niagara Falls, and I will tell you that Niagara Falls are the most beautiful falls. But, you can hear the water running. It sounds like any other water. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tulip. Again, a fascinating look at the weather. And it's great that you got sent all the way down to Zimbabwe to report on it. And thank you all for tuning in to WIN World Local News. I'm Potter Smittss. Good day and stay tuned for Community Court, next on the World Improv Network.
Give the WinCast your suggestions via Facebook, Twitter, or the KZKO Win blog during the commercial break of a case that needs to be heard during Community Court, next on KZKO.
You are listening to WIN on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time, only on KZKO.